Today I want to go ahead and talk about difference of two squares. Now if I have something to form a squared minus b squared, all I gotta do when I'm factoring is write a plus b times the quantity a minus b in that form. So let's go ahead and review what squares are. Well, when we're looking at squares, here are some examples. 1 squared is equal to 1 times 1, which is equal to 1. 2 squared is equal to 2 times 2, which is equal to 4. 3 squared is equal to 3 times 3, which is equal to 9. So basically, all these right here are squares because the number times itself is going to give me some value, which is going to give me a square. 1 is a square, 4 is a square, 9 is a square, 16 is a square, 25 is a square, and these are going to be useful when I'm trying to factor difference of two squares. So let's look at an example. So if I'm trying to factor x squared minus 16, well, I need something here in here. Well, what is this times this is going to give me x squared? Well, I know for sure that x belongs in that position of that parentheses. Well, I know that there's another x, but in a different position of that parentheses. And we can verify, or we can show that x times x is x squared, because x times x, when we multiply and we have the same base, and we have exponents involved, well, we can add those exponents, right? X times x is the same thing as x to the first power times x times the first power, which is going to give me x squared, right? So now that I've taken care of this, we need to make sure that we need to think about, well, what times what is going to give me this negative sign? Well, we can look at the rule over here. Well, I have a plus times a negative, which is going to give me a negative. So let's put a plus here and a negative there. So now I need to figure out, okay, well, what times what is going to give me 16? If we look back at our squares, we can see that 4 squared is equal to 16. Now I know for sure for that 4 times 4, let's go back and we can put it here, because we know that 4 times 4 is 16. Can we show that this, by foiling, that this equals that? Yeah, we can do that. So x times x is x squared, and then x times negative 4 is negative 4x, positive 4 times x is positive 4x, and then lastly 4 times negative 4 is negative 16. If we go ahead and just combine the like terms, well, we know for sure that negative 4x plus positive 4x is going to cancel out. So now I'm left with x squared minus 16, which is exactly what we have here. And if you don't remember, we're going to go ahead and use the rule here. So a squared minus b squared is equal to a times b times the quantity a minus c. And a positive times a negative is equal to a negative. Alrighty. What happens if we're trying to factor dots when a is greater than 1? Now, what I mean by a is greater than 1, well, recall that the format of the trinomial is a squared plus b x is equal to, ax squared plus bx plus c, and we know for sure that, okay, if I have an a greater than 1, let's say if I have, 5x squared plus 2x plus 3, this is what I mean when a is greater than 1, because your coefficient is indeed greater than 1, and 5 for sure is greater than 1. So going to look at this example over here, we have 25x squared minus 4. Now, it's just the same deal. What times what? What times what is going to give me 25? Let's take a look back at our examples. We know for sure that 5 times 5 is 25. So I know for sure, when I'm trying to FOIL, a 5 belongs here and a 5 belongs there. Okay, and then again, like before in the first example, I need something here and something here that's going to give me x squared. So let's put an x here and an x here, because 5x times 5x is 25x squared. And then lastly, we have this negative 4 here. What times what is going to give me negative 4? So let's look back at our rule. A positive times a negative is going to give me a negative. So I know for sure that I'm going to put a positive here, a positive sign there, and a minus sign there. And then what times what is going to give me negative 4? Well, that's going to be 2 and a 2, because 2 times 2 is 4. Now let's go ahead and verify if this times this is going to give us 25x squared minus 4. So if I go ahead and FOIL, well, 5x times 5x is going to be 25x squared. And then I'm going to FOIL this again and to this, and I'm left with negative 10x. And then 2 times 5x is positive 5x. And then lastly, 2 times negative 2 is going to be negative 4. Oops, that's supposed to be a 10x there. Okay, so 25x squared minus 10x plus 10x, we can just cancel this out, and we're left with 25x squared minus 4. This is exactly what I have here.